U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley is defending the Trump administration's decision to pull out of the United Nations Human Rights Council. She calls it the UN's greatest failure. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reports from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. U.S. officials here at the State Department have long been critical of the UN Human Rights Council. Ambassador Nikki Haley is taking it a step further. She says the council has become a haven for human rights violators, and the United States can no longer support it.
The Human Rights Council has been not a place of conscience, but a place of politics.
U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley sharply criticizing the UN Human Rights Council during a speech in Washington. She says despite its name, it has failed for years to promote basic human rights around the world.
It has taken the idea of human dignity, the idea that's at the center of our national creed, and the birthright of every human being, and it has reduced it to just another instrument of international politics. And that is a great tragedy.
Exactly 1 month ago, Haley and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced the U.S. would withdraw from the council. The U.S. is protesting its members, China, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, some of the worst human rights offenders in the world. Kevin Moley, a former UN ambassador in Geneva, who's now with the State Department, applauds the decision.
When the forum designated by the United Nations to promote the cause of human rights becomes so toxic to that very cause, principle demands that we leave.
Moley says the U.S. will remain the biggest supporter of human rights, even though it's no longer part of the council.
And when countries have freedom and democracies don't have famines. Democracies respect human rights. Democracies are what we believe in, and freedoms we are talking about. Religious freedom is an example, the pro-life movement. Those are fundamental to the values we hold.
Now, the head of the Human Rights Council says it is the United States' prerogative to stay or leave if they wish. Behind closed doors, a number of allies say they wish the U.S. would have stayed because it gives the council some level of credibility. Lauren?
Wyatt, Ambassador Haley is a strong defender of the state of Israel. She mentioned Israel in her speech. Tell us about that.
Well, Lauren, Ambassador Haley is defending the administration's longtime position that Israel has the right to exist. She pointed out that Israel is badmouthed over and over again on the agenda, continually on the Human Rights Council regularly. And it's not necessarily because anything Israel has done, but again, simply because of the fact that Israel exists. The U.S. has been a longtime supporter of Israel during UN forums. Lauren?
Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department. Thank you, Wyatt.